Hello, hello, hello. I'm Jessica Yvonne, your Bookbae, coming on with a quick Mother's Day haul on this Sunday. I hope this video finds you well. I am wishing everyone a happy Mother's Day. So, everyone spends their Mother's Day differently. Um, I like to gift myself things on Mother's Day. And this year, I'm giving myself the gift of books that I desire to read. So in my haul, I have 11 books. Some I bought, others I actually had on my shelves that I have never read. And I want to read them. I want to tackle that TBR, or those books that I meant to get to that I never got to, especially since I know I bought some of these during the pandemic when I thought we would be able to rest and relax and read. Uh, that was not what I was able to do. Anyway, so let me get into it. The first book that I invested in for my haul was none other than Matriarch by Tina Knowles. I have not, this was a blind buy. The word matriarch alone had me. The beautiful cover with this golden border had me. Watching her in different interviews prior to even releasing a book, over the years, with her fashion sense, her hair sense, there are several things that have interested me in regards to her, besides her being Beyonce's mother. So yeah, I really wanted to get into her story. And I saw where she did an interview with Oprah. I saw where she did an interview recently with Michelle Obama. And I haven't sat down and watched any of those interviews, even though I really want to, because I'm afraid she's going to give away some of the tidbits of the memoir. Sometimes that's what people do when they're doing these different interviews to, get more eyes on the book. Unintentionally, they also give away parts of the book. And I didn't want that. So I'm excited to read it. As a mother, from a mother, everyone raises their children differently. But I always like to hear tips and tricks from other people. And I'm always interested in people's backgrounds, how they got where they are, where they came from, the foundation they came from. It really helps you understand people better when you know them outside of the surface things. So I did not, like I said, read the back, but we know that it is about her and her life. She's from a small town. I love when memoirs have pictures of people going down memory lane. And what I'll do is I'll read a tidbit here from her. Okay, they say here, a life story like no other, enlightening, entertaining, surprising, empowering, and a testament to the world-making power of Black motherhood. Tina Knowles, the mother of iconic singer, songwriter Beyonce and Solange, and bonus daughters Kelly and actress Angie, is known to the world as the quintessential definition of a matriarch. A fiercely determined, self-possessed, creative, wise woman. But this story is about so much more than that. It begins with a precocious, unruly little girl growing up in 1950s Galveston, the youngest of 7, that's in Texas. She is in love with her world, with extended family on every other porch and the sounds of Motown. and the lapping beach always within earshot. But as the realities of race and the limitations of girlhood set in, she begins to dream of a more grandiose existence. Her instincts and impulsive nature drive her far beyond the shores of Texas to discover the life awaiting her on the other side of childhood. Matriarch. The next one I got here is called The Accidental Marriage, a Grumpy Billionaire Romance by Nadia Lee. And this is my first time seeing or knowing about this author, but it popped up and the cover was beautiful, but the story was great. So let me give you part of the story here. Having been kidnapped by his mother at age 10 and left to die in a fire, billionaire lawyer Aries Huxley trusts no one. Ooh, excuse me. But he needs a wife to get a critical promotion at his law firm, and wakes up the morning after a friend's bachelor party to find that he's somehow married to an eccentric blonde he doesn't even remember meeting. He immediately plans to annul, but it turns out she needs a husband to receive her inheritance. They have nothing in common, but if he plays along, she promises to be his dream wife. The rules are simple. Share the marital bed every night. I'm so sorry. No real feelings, and the marriage ends in 6 months when they both have what they want. But living with this accidental wife doesn't produce the respectfully indifferent marriage he envisioned. Despite her innocence, she's feisty, both in and out of bed. His family adores her, and when he learns that her family treats her badly, he finds himself wanting to protect her. And maybe more. Aries can't stop thinking about his unexpectedly adorable, irresistible, and wonderful fake wife. But despite his evolving intentions and emotions, she abides by their fake marriage rules a little too well. Aries realizes the one thing his wife wants from him is the one thing he can no longer do: let her go. So it says here, the accidental marriage, standalone romance if you love fake marriage, forced proximity, he falls first, he falls harder, a scared hero, an unexpected virgin, a runaway bride, amnesia, soulmates, a protector, a found family. If you like those things, then this book is for you. The Accidental Marriage. So that sounded really juicy to me, and I cannot wait to read it. And then this book, You Could Do Damage by Casey Mills, was actually recommended by Shaughnessy Scroder. She is a booktuber, and she talked about how good it was. So I picked it up. This is a brand new author to me. The cover, again, very pretty. Love that. This one here, let me read to you what it's talking about. Let's see. Nari Colette finds herself on the brink of homelessness after a crushing betrayal. Desperate for stability, she reluctantly agrees to an unconventional proposal from the attractive and enigmatic Kincaid. Wait, I don't think I'm saying that word right. Determined to reclaim his seat as heir of a dangerous criminal enterprise, Kincaid needs a wife to solidify his position. But he never expected his carefully selected bride to ignite such fierce desire. As Nari awakens feelings he long thought dead, Kincaid struggles to maintain control. Their entangled marriage of convenience quickly becomes a battleground of wills as Nari fights to protect her heart, even as she irresistibly drawn to her dangerous new husband. As enemies close in from all sides, and with both their hearts and lives on the line, Nari and Kincaid must decide if they can trust each other with their deepest secrets, or if the very passion that binds them will ultimately be their downfall. So this really sounded great. I'm not sure how long I think she's like a new, no, she has a lot of, is this her books here? It's not super long. It's less than 300 pages, but it sounded really good. And I normally like a lot of the books that Shauna C recommends. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So this one here, also she recommended If You Stayed by Brittany Cherry. Now, I read my first Brittany Cherry book this year and loved it. It reminded me of like The Notebook, but in writing form. But of course, you know, I know Nicholas Sparks has a book called The Notebook outside of the movie. But that's really what it reminded me of. And I just remember at the end, like, my oxytocin being like so high. Like, that's how great the book was, that I kept going back to it over and over again in my head. And it really had me on a natural high. So yes, Brittany Cherry for the win. I will definitely pick up more of her books, and this one came out this year. Let me tell you about this one. It says, there was once a man who loved me until he forgot every memory we've ever shared. Gabrielle Sinclair will forever be my first best friend, my first kiss, my first love, and my first heartbreak. The accident that nearly took his life ripped the memory of me from his grasp. And for the last few decades, I've let the guilt of that one terrible night keep us apart. It took me years to make a peace with the fact that he would no longer be in my life. So when he shows up as the architect for my new home, my world's tossed upside down. Now I'm trapped in a loveless marriage, raising a child, while Gabriel stirs up feelings I thought were long buried. It feels like my soul is waking up after years of being in a deep slumber, and my controlling husband will do whatever it takes to keep us apart. I know I should push Gabriel away to protect him from the shadows surrounding me, yet I can't deny the hope that blooms whenever he's near. The chance that he might remember me, that we could reclaim the chapters of our story that we've lost. Nothing good could come from us, but I can't help but wonder what would happen if this time he stayed. And then like some of the author notes here at the bottom. I guess actually author reviews from other authors. It says vivid and beautifully emotional. Megan Quinn says a heartfelt romance, and someone else describes it as beautifully heartbreaking. So I can't wait to get into this one as well. The title alone, If You Stayed, like that speaks volumes. I think we've all wondered at some point in time in our lives what would have happened if someone had not left. The next one, I bought this one actually from a thrift store. It is called Sins of the Mother by Victoria Christopher Murray. I think that's how you say her last name. So here we go. Jasmine Larson Bush is finally living a drama-free life. She's left her lying, cheating, stealing stripper days behind and is standing by her husband's side as the first lady of one of the largest churches in New York City. The Bushes have been blessed with the best of everything, including 2 lovely children. But just when Jasmine was committed her life completely to God, Her daughter Jacqueline is kidnapped from a mall the day after Thanksgiving. The police and the church community join in the frantic search to find the 4-year-old. As the days pass without any sign of her daughter, Jasmine begins to crack under the strain and turns to Brian Lewis, Jacqueline's biological father, for solace. Has Jasmine's past finally caught up to her? Will her daughter be found, or will Jasmine pay the ultimate price? It sounded appropriate, and it sounded good. Sins of the Mother. This one here, I started reading and put it down. It is called My Grandmother's Hands. Racialized trauma and the pathway to mending our hearts and bodies. But it felt like it was time to really read this one because this is my grandmother's birthday month. So it seemed like it was time to pick it back up. And it was really a great book. But I remember it wasn't a light book. It was kind of heavy with the topics that I was talking about when I put it down. But yeah, I think this is going to be a great book. I remember I heard the author, Resmaa Menakem. I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly, but I know Resmaa was his first name. I remember I heard his interview on The Breakfast Club, and he just talked about the different things that we inherit through our DNA. There are a lot of things that we ancestrally also inherit that we're just not aware of, which I really found interesting because, yeah, we know we inherit our looks, we didn't create this, but never thinking about some of the behaviors or the way you feel about things, or you don't think about that your ancestors' blood is in your body, and that there are certain things that you do just because you do it. Kind of how you write. When you write, I can remember my mom saying, "Oh my gosh, you write like your dad." No one had to teach me how to do it. I just naturally wrote like him. Like, I could do his signature as a kid. And she was like, you write like your dad. It's interesting. So yeah, anyway. It says here, my grandmother's hands was changed the direction of the movement for racial justice. The body is where our instincts reside and where we fight, flee, or freeze. My grandmother's hands is a call to action for Americans to recognize that racism is not only about the head, but also about the body. This author introduces an alternative view of what we can do to grow beyond our entrenched, racialized divide and take readers through a step-by-step healing process based on the latest neuroscience and somatic healing methods. An exceptionally thought-provoking and important account that looks at race in a radical new way for all readers. So, it looks like he is a licensed therapist? He says he's a director of counseling, but I'm quite sure he said he was a licensed therapist as well. But anyway, this is considered to be a psychology, self-help, and current affairs book. But I loved the name, My Grandmother's Hands, and I love the idea and some of the things he was getting into on the interview. The next one, Paradise. This is actually on my shelf. I think I maybe read a page, but I haven't really dived into it. But it's by Toni Morrison, the late great Toni Morrison. And guys, it sounded so juicy. Like, it sounds so good. And like, I've read like The Bluest Eyes, and I think one of her other popular works. I didn't read Beloved, I just saw the movie. But there was some others I've read, but this one here I want to get into. So let me tell you what Paradise is about with Toni Morrison. Rumors had been whispered for more than a year. Outrages that had been accumulating all along took shape as evidence. A mother was knocked down the stairs by her cold-eyed daughter. 4 damaged infants were born in one family. Daughters refused to get out of bed. Brides disappeared on their honeymoons. 2 brothers shot each other on New Year's Day. Trips to Denby for VD shots common. And what went on at the oven these days was not to be believed. The proof they had been collecting since the terrible discovery in the spring could not be denied. The one thing that connected all these catastrophes catastrophes. I don't know why that tongue tied me, but it did. The one thing that connected all of these catastrophes was in the convent. And in the convent were those women. In Paradise, her first novel since she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for Literature, Toni Morrison gives us a bravado. Sorry, guys. Oof. Okay. Toni Morrison gives us a bravado performance as the book begins deep in Oklahoma early one morning in 1976. 9 men from Ruby, in defense of the one all-black town worth the pain, assault the nearby convent and the women in it. From the town's ancestral origins in 1890 to the fateful day of the assault, Paradise tells the story of a people ever mindful of the relationship between their spectacular history and a void. Out there, where random and organized evil erupted when and where it chose, richly imagined and elegantly composed, Paradise weaves a powerful mystery. So it sounded really juicy to me, and so I want to get into this and read. I've had it on my shelf, on my TBR, just chilling, and I have not read it. And so I want to get to this book as soon as possible. Now this book, I didn't know that Willow Smith had written a book. I happened to see an old interview with someone that, what is her name? I can't think of the lady's name now. She did the Perfume I Loved, and she's written books. Heal Thyself, or I can't remember. Sniff the Perfume. I can't remember the lady's name. But anyway, I can see her face. Can't think of her name. Yeah, it's just one of those Saturdays, I guess. Anyway, so I saw the interview she did with her called Black Shield Maiden by Willow Smith, and it sounded really good, guys. I thought the cover was beautiful as well. Let me give you a tidbit here. From Willow Smith and Jess Hendel comes a powerful and groundbreaking historical epic about an African warrior in the world of the Vikings. Lore, legend, and history tells of the Vikings, warrior kings on epic journeys of conquest and plunder. But the stories we know are not the only stories to tell. There is another story, one that has been lost to the mist of the time, the saga of the Dark Queen. This saga begins with Yafu, a defiant yet fiercely compassionate young warrior who is stolen from her home in the flourishing Ghanaian Empire and taken to a distant kingdom in the north. There, she is thrust into a strange, cold world of savage shield maidens, tyrannical rulers, and mysterious gods. And there she also finds something unexpected, a kindred spirit. She comes to serve Freitas, a shy princess who couldn't be more different from the confident and self-possessed Yafu. But they both want the same thing, to forge their own fate. Yafu inspires Freitas to dream of a future greater than the one that the king and queen have forced upon her. And with the princess at her side, Yafu learns to navigate this new world and grows increasingly determined to become one of the legendary Shield Maidens, to fight not only for her freedom, but for the freedom of others. Yafu may have lost her home, but she still knows who she is, and she's not afraid to be the flame that burns a city to the ground so a new world can rise from the ashes. She will alter the course of history and become the revolutionary heroine of her own myth. I love that. And then on the back here, the author from Children of Blood and Bone describes the book as intimate, tender, and fiercely epic. I love that. She even uses the word explosive creativity. 3 more, guys, 3 more. Hang in there with me. So this book, my mother recommended I read, and I actually got this book during the Panini as well, by Cicely Tyson, Just As I Am. Such a beautiful book cover. And she's always been so elegant and regal and just gracious. So this is her memoir, and I won't, read all the, we know it's gonna talk about her, of course. Let's see what it has. Trying to see what we can share. I'll do a little tidbit of what it talks about with Cicely. Just as I am is my truth. It is me, plain and unvarnished, with the glitter and garland set aside. In these pages, I am indeed Cicely, the actress who has been blessed to grace the stage and screen for 6 decades. Yet I am also the church girl who once rarely spoke a word. I'm the teenager who sought solace in the verses of the old hymn for which this book is named. I am a daughter and a mother, a sister and a friend. I am an observer. Excuse me, sorry, bless me. I am an observer of human nature and the dreamer of audacious dreams. I am a woman who has hurt as immeasurably as I have loved, a child of God, divinely guided by his hand. And here in my 9th decade, I am a woman who at last has something meaningful to say. She said that so beautifully and elegantly. I cannot wait to read this. Even the color, look at her. Look at this choker. Look at her hair. Look at her perfection. Beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to read this. Everything about this is just on point. And the crazy part I think about when I first saw her as a kid, I think I saw her like in Roots or something. And then later on in life, it was like in a Tyler Perry. She's been in a lot of different things, stage plays and everything. But yes, so I'm excited to get into that. Her wordings is just so beautiful. And then these last 2 books are actually Dapper Dan, Made in Harlem, a memoir. And I bought these actually too during the pandemic. What reminded me of that I had these books and I had not read them is the recent Met Gala, and they were discussing the Black dandyism and how us dressing up is a sign of resilience and joy and just pushing back, and I really loved how I just love how we show up, period. But yeah, so I picked this up because We all know Dapper Dan is about that life when it comes to um, putting looks together, creating looks, and he created it all from the street. Like, he comes from the street, but he made a big name for himself, and people want to be a part of him and a part of his presence. So it says here, with his now legendary store on 125th Street in Harlem, Dapper Dan pioneered high-end streetwear in the 1980s, remixing classic luxury brand logos into his own innovative, glamorous designs. But before he reinvented a haute couture, he was a hungry boy with holes in his shoes, a teen who daringly gambled drug dealers out of their money, and a young man in a prison cell who found nourishment in books. In this remarkable memoir, he tells his full story for the first time. So I really cannot wait to get into this. I hope he has some good pictures for us in here. Looks like he does have a few. I love it, I love it, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. This is one picture here. He has of his friends and of his store. And the last book, last but not least, I'm a person, I know I don't dress like it, but I like fashion. The Chiffon Trenches by Andre Leon Talley. Now, he is known for the ponchos. May he rest in peace as well. Yeah, to me, he is simply elegant. Love him. I think the first time I recognized or really started seeing him when I was younger, he was on the America's Top Model, which I had kind of seen him around before that, but then that's when he really started, I guess it's the way he talks, the way he carries himself. You just love him. Anyway, I love what he stood for. So anyway, during Andre's first magazine job alongside Andy Warhol at Interview, a fateful meeting with Karl Lagerfeld began a decades-long friendship with the enigmatic, often caustic designer. Propelled into the upper echelons by his knowledge and adoration of fashion, Andre moved to Paris as chief of John Fairfield's Women's Wear Daily, befriending fashion's most important designers. But as Andre made friends, he also made enemies. A racist encounter with a member of the House of Saint Laurent sent him back to New York and into the offices of Vogue under Grace Mirabella. There, he eventually became a creative director, developing an unlikely but devoted friendship with Anna Wintour. As she rose to the top of Vogue's masthead, Andre also ascended, soon becoming the most influential man in fashion. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on today. Probably all the rain kicking up all this pollen. But yes, and on the back it has all these different descriptions of the book. One of them by Tamron Hall. She says, the joy of reading about Andre Leon Talley's journey is coupled with knowing that he survived and thrived by being revered and respected by those at every level of fashion. That never goes out of style. And then Manola Blahnik, it says here, through an enlightening narrative, Andre Leon Talley's The Chiffon Trenches honestly and candidly captures 50 sublime years of fashion. Talley's unrivaled knowledge, extraordinary eye for spotting raw talent, and ahead of the curve ability to clearly define what makes a good dress draw you in from page one. This is an insightful and intelligent read conveyed in a way only he could. I love that. And I'm excited to read it. And may continue to rest in peace. But yeah, these are my books. The haul. I hope you guys found one you may be interested in, because I cannot wait to get into these. I'm still reading Cast And I also started the other book, The Other Wife. So I'm going to get into these next. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care. Wishing nothing but inner peace, positivity, and empowerment. Bye-bye. Have a great day.